Hello and welcome to the first episode of the podcast Pel-Droed. I'm your host, Kyle Williams. Today we focus upon Denbigh Town, who have undergone major stadium developments over the last year. This includes a £200,000 pitch, a 475-seater main stand, a new clubhouse, and plans that are in place for a new change of room in the future. We have two guests today. Firstly, Ryan Roberts, vice captain and a senior figure of the reserve side. He talks about the benefits of these new facilities to the club as a whole and Denbigh's ambition to progress forward. He also talks about the challenges and the competitive nature of breaking into the first team as a regular. We also speak to lifelong Denbigh resident and town fan Johan Minchell about these new stadium developments and what it means to the club.
So, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience? Just a bit about yourself, how long you've been playing football, and what clubs you've been at over your time.
Yeah, well, I'm Ryan. I've been playing football, I don't know how long, ever since I can remember, really. I've played for a few different clubs locally, different levels as well. For my juniors, I played for St Asaph football, went straight into Denbigh reserves, and I've been there since. I've played for a few academy teams in the junior leagues as well.
How have you got on this season? You've been in the reserves mostly this year, haven't you? As more of a senior figure. How have you got on this year?
Yeah, we've had a bit of a roller coaster of a season this season. We started off quite strong, and we had a few of the other older heads. I had lads older than me. They kind of felt the pressure a bit and left. So it kind of started like a rebuild. We had big influx of young 16, 17, 18-year-olds having to step up and play adult football for the first time near enough. So we had a rough couple of months, a few batterings, but then around February we've been unbeaten since February, which is big, massive for confidence booster for younger lads as well. That's it, I'm allowed the longest serving res player. I've been there 5 years now nearly, and so all these young lads, 80% of the squad have only been there less than 12 months. It's good to see, good togetherness now, good dressing room, and it shows in the results ultimately.
Yeah, so going into next season, do you think that bodes well? Do you think you've got a chance of moving on, pushing on forward?
Yeah, 100%. So we still got a couple older heads. Got me, captain Jack. He's just turned 30. He plays like a late 21-year-old. He's a good lad, good captain, because he's a good lad for the younger lads to look up to. Like I say, I'm a good one for them to look up to as well. So next season, yeah, will be massive. Plan on keeping a bulk of the squad the same. After all these young lads, they've improved massively over the past few months, and we want to keep the progress going.
With players like Sean Jones and Danny Clark, who are same age as you, doing well in the first team, is that something you're looking to push on and do next season? Maybe try and make a bit of a breakthrough into the first team?
Yeah, it's always been. I've always thought I'd like to play for the first team at some point. Whether it is just a fleeting 5 minutes at the end of the game, or for me, it's fitness has always been my big problem, because I do quite a lot of stuff away from football as well. So it's hard to kind of find the motivation to want to be. Because with Dan Clark and Sean, great lads, great footballers, but they've always been fit, very fit lads. You see them out running all the time and that. And at this level, that's half of it. You could be a technically great player. We've got a few in the res players, technically great players, but if you can't give it your max for at least 60 minutes, then you're not going to be pushing in any further. But yeah, I'd like to think so, because especially with these young lads now, I say young lads, I'm only 21, but you see them coming up, and a lot of them have been getting this back end of the season when we've been doing well. We've had a few young lads that had a first team call up, even if it's just half an hour or 10 minutes into the game. It's great to see, because you asked me 6 months ago when we were doing Paul, would these lads be getting a shout with the first team? You'd be laughing, because no way, terrible. They can't, physicality wise, they're not there, fitness they're not there. It's only young 16, 17-year-olds, but fast forward to now, confident squad. We're getting the results and reaping the benefits of it. These younger lads, they're getting used to the adult physicalness of it and physicality of it. And it really it's good to see. So that kind of, as silly as it sounds, that's kind of inspiring me a bit.
Yeah.
As one of the older players, but now they're still doing it. I like to think I've still got the best years ahead of me. as long as I can keep injury free. And maybe in the next season or two, I'd love to think that I can get a call up to the first team at some point. And I don't see why not. It's just fitness, and it's just a bit more dedication that's needed. It's within reach.
So onto the main feature of the podcast, really, the main topic, the new Denbigh ground, Central Park. It's had a lot of development for the start of this last season. Invested £200,000 into the ground. It took 6 months of work, 18 months of preparation. How have you found playing on that this season? Obviously, as a reserve player, you get to play on the pitch as well. Like, how are you finding it?
Yeah, well, it's one of the best pitches in the area. So even playing, so when I was younger, when you're playing for academy teams, you're playing on a lot of artificial grounds. But I just love playing on a bloody good, grass pitch. There's second to none. Best pitch in the league by far. And to play on it, every week, it's great. And I don't see, it's a great pull for the club as well, because these lads that are leaving, they're going to go and play for these small town clubs on sheep fields. Whereas the Denbigh pitch, it's phenomenal, and it's definitely a pull for the club. If you're looking to play decent football, decent standard, the Denbigh pitch, it allows you to do that as well. It's been great for the club as well, because you've seen we've had at the start of April we had international fixtures played there. Yeah. We had the under-16. There was an under-16s tournament with the Wales, Turkey, Brazil, and Spain, and it was mad. I went to go and help steward, and biggest turnouts I've ever seen at the Denbigh ground. And it cost the same to go in to watch these future superstars as it does to come and watch me play. So it's it's mad. But yeah, it's a great pull. And I was speaking to actually the head of, can't remember his name, but he was the head of kind of all the North Wales leagues, all in charge of like my league and all the other reserve leagues and that as well. And he was asking me similar, what's this pitch done for you now? I was like, just look at it today. Just watch Brazil versus Spain. Yeah, they're in the 16s, but the quality is phenomenal. Like they'd give our first team a run, like easily give them a run for the money. It's a different class. So yeah, it's only going to get better from there. New pitch, not long have a new stand as well. And I've seen there's plans for new kind of changing room facilities as well. So at the moment it's a bit of a shed, but I've seen by 2025, I think I saw they want it's going to be like a two-floored changing room facility with 4 changing rooms in there, which will just be massive for the club. Training facilities as well.
Yeah,
great.
So the owner of 360 Ground Care, Miles Todd, who did the renovations of the pitch, described the drainage system as old-fashioned, and the chairman as well of Denbigh, Sean Powell, described. He said sometimes Denbigh could barely play 1 game a month on the old pitch, but he said now they can play it 2 or 3 times a week. What does that mean for the club? I've a bit of research here. There's 280 players that play across the Denbigh teams. So you've got the men's team, the reserve team, a women's team, and you've got 10 teams from ages 6 to 16, 40 coaches as well. What does that mean for the club as a whole, and the way it's moving forward? That 2 or 3 games can be played. I think the under-15s played a game on the pitch over the weekend. Is that showing the club's moving in the right direction?
Oh yeah, massively. As you said, Chairman Sean, there was periods a couple seasons ago when we were playing around like between November and February, and the pitch was unplayable. There was no, we'd have to go and play on another pitch, somewhere else, because it was horrible, and they couldn't allow, if the first team had a game, that was it. Res couldn't play there, women's couldn't play there, because it was all about getting the pitch ready for the first team. Whereas now, that's it. If we need it, it's there, and it's a big confidence booster, because when you're playing on it week in, week out, especially for the young lads, you get used to playing on such a nice surface, and it gives you a bit of an edge over the other teams, because they will be used to playing on such a nice ground. So it's a confidence boost for the teams. And yeah, for young lads, and as you said, the juniors. I remember when we used to play for St. Asaph, into our cup final, we went to go play in the Real or Prestatyn, and back then that was like a big wow. go play on this nice pitch. The Denbigh pitch now is 10 times better than any of those pitches. It really is. So yeah, for young kids coming up, an opportunity to play on a pitch like that, even if it is just a cup final or whatever, they'll remember it. That's it for the rest of their lives. If they go play Sunday League or something, they'll think, bloody hell, I'm gonna go play on the Denbigh pitch now. I'm playing on this rubbish. But it's great all round. It's only going to get better.
Yeah. You mentioned as well, the new stand that was built recently. It seats 475 people, the main stand. Obviously, you mentioned the club. There's a new clubhouse as well, which I've not mentioned. The new changing rooms as well that are meant to be in development, and obviously the pitch as well. Do you think this is a statement from Denbigh, and that ambition to move? They're in the third tier of Welsh football at the minute, but does it show their ambition to move forward and push the Welsh Prem again?
Yeah, definitely. Because that's it. Their ground at the moment, you compare it to all the other grounds in their current league. Yeah, they aren't really where they should be at the moment. Through we call it poor circumstance or whatever, but they're really not where they deserve to be at the moment. They need to be pushing for that second division at least. And then with all the developments that are going on, I know they've got multiple kind of plans in place over the next 10 years or so. Facility-wise, it could be one of the best in the area. It could, rival Welsh Premier League clubs, grounds, which is a big statement. But it's not a small town, Denbigh, but it's never been like a massive, like a real Ulster stat or anything like that. But it's only going to get better, and it'll be great to see.
Yeah, of course, the new pitch, like you mentioned, helps the current Denbigh players, the roster of players playing on such a nice pitch. But do you think these facilities could attract, talent from elsewhere? Looking in at Denbigh, they're seeing, the brilliant facilities that they're developing. Do you think that will attract, even more talent from other teams in the league or even leagues above?
Yeah, definitely. That's it. Especially again, all the plans we've got in place. I'm sure that's a big for the first team. I'm sure that'll be a massive thing that they'll slip in, just to, come play for us. Look at the facilities we've got, look at the pitch we'll be playing on week in, week out. And that'll definitely be a draw for players because they want to be playing on the best surfaces in the best leagues. So that's, again, they want to be pushing higher. And obviously, if you're attracting better talent, you're going to get better results. You will progress, meaning more money, which will mean more development for the club and, more stands, more, better facilities again. But it's all, I'm sure we've got many plans in place. It's definitely a big draw for players in and around. I said the first team, they've got lads that travel away from the world to come and play and stuff like that, which doesn't sound that bad, but for a club in the third division at the moment third division, it shows that it does have the draw, and will may continue. It'll only get better.
Yeah, well, that's all I've got time for today. But thank you very much for answering my questions. Best of luck with the next season, and hopefully you can push on to that first team, get some minutes in.
So I'm joined by Johan Mitchell, a Denbigh Town fan. You've lived in Denbigh your whole life, right?
Yeah, so I've lived in Denbigh for 21 years now. Born in Denbighshire, so it's a great place to live.
Yeah, and obviously I've spoken to Ryan Roberts. You might know, a reserve player, vice captain. So a few appearances with the first team here and there. But we've basically been talking about the new facilities that have been built at the Denbigh pitch, especially the £200,000 investment they put into the actual pitch itself. So I'm assuming you've been down there, and what's your opinions on the new facilities there?
Yeah, so since it's been done, since the work's got carried out, I've been down to many home games, probably over 50%, and I mean, the work that they've done on the pitch has just shown how big the progression of the club is, going from the senior team all the way to the juniors. So the juniors coming up and they're just going to progress, and their aim in life, their aim in their football career is probably to play on that pitch for the first team.
Yeah, and obviously mentioned briefly as well the international games that happened between Brazil and Spain. Obviously it was under 16s, but it just shows. Did you go down to that game at all?
Yeah, I actually went to the Brazil-Spain under-16s game.
Yeah,
And
I was at the Spain game, and obviously the quality on show of football. They were under 16 players, but it's an unbelievable level. And it just shows how good the facilities actually are. If teams from abroad, wanting to play their tours on the Denbigh pitch.
100%. It just shows teams from all over the world are willing to play on a local pitch like Denbigh. I mean, the facilities there, from the changing rooms to the social club, all the way to the pitch, is just sublime throughout.
Yeah, obviously they've built a new clubhouse as well, and there's plans for a new changing room. So does the clubhouse bring a bit more of a sense of community at Denbigh? Obviously, they serve like drinks and food there now. Makes the game day feeling a lot better, a lot more to do on the match day.
Yeah, adds a bit more of a social thing to it as well. Maybe meeting up with a few friends, a few familiar faces, and just speaking about the game and everything. Just it's very good for the club and how they're progressing.
Yeah, so obviously they've done really well at the minute. They're in good stead to go up and get promoted at the minute. Denbigh, I think they're in second place at the minute. Do you think overall, just the work they've done on the ground, do you think it just shows the way Denbigh are looking to progress, the way they're looking to try and move forward, and in the future hopefully get towards the Premier League spot?
Yeah, well, 100%. I mean, they're going in the right direction with this, especially with this investment of all the sponsorships. I think Lock Stock are the main sponsor. Promotion is definitely on the cards in this year or the next couple of years.
That concludes the first episode of the podcast Pel-Droed. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel so you don't miss out on future content and features related to football in the Denbighshire area. Thanks for watching.